Okay, if you've gotten your Singer 4411 or 4423 and you press the foot control and nothing happens, just the motor races, the needle doesn't move up and down, that means that the belt has come off inside of here, and that's not a big deal. It's pretty easy to fix. The belt goes from this hand wheel down to the motor, which is down in here. In one of our videos, we show if the belt just comes disattached up here, how to just take off the top and put it back onto this top hand wheel. However, if you go to put that belt back on that hand wheel and notice there's a real lot of slack on the belt and it doesn't fit onto the hand wheel snug, that means it could have also come off of the motor pulley. Again, not a big deal, easy to correct. Today we'll be using just a standard Phillips head screwdriver and also needle grippers that we, locking little tweezer scissors that we sell on our website. It's our stock ID number 4025. These are really nice because they you can use them one-handed and they can grip onto small parts, and they also lock. They have locking teeth here, so you won't lose small parts and you can kind of get into tight areas with these. So these are a nice tool to have. It's not required to perform this fix, but it certainly is nice to have. You can use like some needle nose pliers or some tweezers. So first, what we're going to want to do is we want to take off the free arm here. Set that aside. We're going to go ahead and sit the machine up on its bottom. I had it laying on its back so you could it was easier for you to see. There's two screws on the top of the machine. There's one here and one here. We'll go ahead and take those out. Set those aside. And this top lid just pops right off. It's easy if you use two hands and just kind of lift from the back, and it just lifts right off. This is where the belt is supposed to sit on this cogged large wheel right here. And if you just need to slip it, the belt usually slides right over into the right here. If you try to slip it over here and there's just a large amount of slack on this belt and it doesn't sit on here tight, then it's come off of the pulley down at the bottom. Again, not a big deal. We'll just leave this off of this cog for now. Just leave it off of that pulley, sit it back down over on the side, because what we're going to do is we're going to pop the bottom off and put it on the motor pulley first and then put it on this pulley. You don't want to put it on this pulley because it'll be a little more difficult to put it on the motor pulley. So you want to do the motor pulley first. I'm taking this machine. The nice thing about this machine is it is pretty square, so it does sit up on different positions pretty nicely. So I'm going to take, and on here there are 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to go ahead and take these out. There's one here. There's another here. Another here. We'll go right here to the left. That one. That's 4. This one here will be 5. And this one here will be 6. So, after you take out the proper amount of screws, all the screws to the right of here should be out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You should only have 6 screws left. There's a total of 12 on the bottom. There should be 6 screws left. One small one, your foot screw here, another screw to the left of that, another small one, your foot screw, and another one to the left of that. Then the base will just lift right off. And underneath this metal frame is the motor pulley, which might be a little difficult for you to see. I'll see if I can maybe zoom in a little bit here. here's your motor, and behind here is your motor pulley. It's really easy to see in person, but if you look down in there, you'll see that belt, and that belt has fallen. Again, I'm using my hemostats. You can use any type tweezers or needle nose pliers, and I've got my belt here, and I'm just going to sit it on to the motor pulley. I'm going to leave the bottom off just in case I need to access it again. So I've got it on the motor pulley. I just sit it on there. It usually stays on there pretty good. Then I'm going to turn it back right side up, and I'm now going to grab the belt here, which now there's no slack. I can barely fit my finger underneath it. It should only come up above this side here, just very minimal. So I've got it pulled up here, and see how I can lock my my grippers onto the belt, that way I don't lose it. And then I'll just kind of line it up and go all the way around. Sometimes I'll give this hand wheel a turn, and that'll start getting the teeth lined up. And now it's all lined up, and we can go ahead and start putting things back together. We'll start with the top here. Again, that just snaps back on, and you'll see a little lip here. You want to make sure that those lips go underneath each other, and it's kind of like a puzzle piece, and everything just kind of snaps back together. I'll go ahead and zoom back out so you can see everything we're doing here. And again, you had 2 screws in the top. We'll go ahead and put those 2 screws back in place, and we will go ahead and tighten those up. And I wouldn't suggest using a drill or anything like that. Just hand tight, as tight as you can go with your hand is sufficient. If you use a drill, you might have a little bit too much torque, too much power, and you certainly don't want that. So I've got my top lid on. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to the bottom, and as we see, whenever you have this bottom off, you'll see that it's back on the motor pulley the way it's supposed to. And we'll go ahead and sit this right back on here. This is pretty easy. This just sits right on top here. Usually I like putting the foot screw, this little foot pad, in first, because it'll kind of hold everything else while I do it. And the screws with the large rings on them, they go here in the metal bar. It's almost the screws are proper sizes, so it's almost impossible to make a mistake when putting the screws back in. And again, just hand tight. These metal screws, with the metal ring around them, those are the screws that go against the metal bar, so you'll know which screws to use. But they only fit in one hole, so it's, again, kind of impossible to make a mistake here. And so these ones with these large rings go against the metal. And sorry you couldn't see a second ago with when the top's on, the handles on there, and the machine will lean back so you can clearly work on its angle towards you, and that's pretty nice. And then you have one last screw here, and that goes in this hole over here. And then now when you turn your hand wheel, your needle should go up and down, and you've corrected your belt issue. If you have any further questions, please feel free to let our support team know, and we'll be more than glad to assist you. Thanks.